Right, how are we doing everybody? Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Today we're going to be taking a look at the professional golf swing in slow motion. I think this is a really good way for us all to learn, watching it frame by frame, the things that need to happen. Now today we're going to be starting by looking at my swing, but moving forward, drop it in that comments box below. Who do you want to see? It might be some of the greatest golf swings ever. It might be some senior golf swings. It might be some fantastic lady golf swings. It could be anybody, right? Well, anybody that I can gain access to their swing, right? Not somebody you play golf with. But hopefully what we'll see is these commonalities. So there's always going to be differences in the golf swing. There'll be differences because we're all different. We have different levels of athleticism. We grip the club differently. So there's lots of things that are going to be different from a visual perspective. But from a functionality perspective, how different do we actually think professional golf swings are? I personally think they're very similar. I think there's always commonalities, and that's what we tend to speak about on the channel. Now today, looking at my swing, we're going to be focusing our attention on the backswing position as a key thing. Now, rotation in the downswing is probably the biggest gulf I tend to see between a great golf swing, so that could be a really low single-figure golfer, to a higher handicap golfer. Higher handicap golfers tend to possess less rotational motion. And the question would be why? And I don't know exactly why all the time, because we can all throw a ball. And generally, if you were thinking about it now, if you were throwing a ball, what you would notice is the big thing is that when you're loading up, the weight would be on your trail leg, and you would open up that lead side whilst there is no weight on it. So that's the key thing, and today's video is very much the same. It's about understanding the level of intent and the importance of loading in the backswing position and shifting enough weight underneath that right leg in the backswing so that then when you pull the left side back, the right leg is stable and it's firm and it's in the ground. And you can kind of imagine that when you swing back, your pelvis turns into the leg and it kind of screws the leg into the ground, and then your pelvis can square off. Same as if you were throwing the ball analogy, right? So that's what we're going to kind of learn from today by looking at my swing. And like I said, we're going to do this moving forward. So we're just going to do this quite a short video looking at the focus of what we're going to be looking for is I maintain flex in the right leg in the backswing position. You don't have to. Like I said, the key thing here is the intent of pushing pressure under that leg. And we'll do some other drills on the channel this week as well to accompany this video so you understand thoroughly what it is that I'm trying to encourage you guys to do. And then rotating in the transition. So let's have a little look. So here's a tee shot that I hit. Backswing, right leg flexed. We can see that. Loaded, squashing pressure. Left arm horizontal, pelvis is already back to square, which means that it's done an abundance of rotation very quickly. Because that right leg has been firm, it can stay out of the way. So one of the common problems that we tend to see with most amateurs is they spin out, which means as soon as you try and turn, your right hip fires forward, which is again the importance of loading the right leg. Here's a good example. What we can see early in my backswing position, I shift. I move a little bit linear to push pressure underneath that leg. As I then continue to wind up, I push more pressure underneath that right leg. So much so, because what you'll see now is how much my right leg stays outward facing there. And that's what you call the squat move, which basically means both legs are now externally rotated. And that can only happen by putting enough pressure underneath that trail leg. Again, we look, this is like a pitching wedge example. Right leg again stays flexed, pushing pressure underneath the right leg. So as we pause here and pull the left hip back, again, we can see pelvis is back to parallel to target at left arm horizontal, which is a key feature. And like I said, I think everybody can do this. I just think the reason why we don't is because we don't necessarily load correctly in the backswing position. And then as we have another look here, similarities. So again, shifting weight in towards that backswing, keeping that right leg flexed. Now I pull the left hip back, but we can see the way the right leg doesn't deviate much, right? The right leg only reintroduces an element of flex, basically because of the sequencing. So what can we learn from these videos as I run these through again? Well, what we can learn is the key thing is that word intent. And I personally think everybody can rotate on the downswing, but we're fearful of swinging over the top. And what happens is that when we swing over the top and we spin out, it sends everything out of sequence. And I genuinely, hand on heart, the majority of the people I work with online lessons and face-to-face lessons are generally failing in the backswing position by not rotating correctly and putting enough pressure underneath the trail leg. So if this kind of video has resonated, first of all, again, drop in who you would like to see us talk about in the future. But you're going to see the same commonalities with pros. They're going to pivot differently, but they're all going to pivot with that key word of intent. That's going to be the big key thing. We're going to see lots of examples of this sort of squatting motion, and we're going to see lots of that by left arm horizontal, the pelvis being back to square, which is the biggest gulf, like I said, between amateur golfers and professional golfers alike. So if you feel like your backswing is suffice, you should feel an element of activation in the top of the hip area. You should feel an element of pressure building underneath your trail leg. And if you don't, then subscribe, because I'll be doing lots of drills this week on the channel talking about these things exactly to help you guys improve your golf. So for now, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll look forward to seeing what comments come in after this video and how we're going to look at other professional golf swings in a similar manner. I don't teach a method, I just look at any golf swing and I'm trying to find what do all the great golf swings do, and then I share this knowledge with you guys for free through this platform to help you improve as best as I can. Catch up with you guys again very soon.